Hey, you guys, what's going on out there? It's your girl, Pretty Sexy Charter Brand, aka Stoner and Sexy. And of course, your girl is back for another review slash recap of She Hustle Chicago. And baby, we are going to get into episode 4, which is titled Girl Power. And baby, you already know my Session families. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you tag the Tronics Network to my reviews over here on YouTube, on my social media platforms, as well as you can sign up today at www.tronicsnetwork.com, and you can sign up for a membership and get into these shows, into these plans. Period. Cause she hustle, she hustle, get up and hustle. She hustle, she hustle, hustle, she hustle. She love with the bus. So yes, y'all. As we jump into episode 4, Girl Power, the ladies are going out for a night out, and baby, let's just say Miss Monet, Miss Ronisha, and um, Glizzy are already out, and Day's not there yet because Day said she had to hit up her friend in the city, let them know hey she need a section. And baby, her and her girls gonna pop out tonight. They gonna pop their ish. And come to find out, Miss Monet says that, they had already had their section. They was already clubbing. Dage came in Hollywood late. And she wasn't feeling like it. She wasn't feeling that vibe. But I'm gonna say this, like Dejan says, when you are working with production and just doing a number of other things and wearing a lot of other hats, you don't really have time to just jump up and party and come and celebrate and do what everybody else can do. So she was like, she got there. She the one that made things pop in the city. Per. And then while the ladies are at the club and they're out having a good time, balling and dancing, our girl, Miss Pretty Hair Balls, aka Miss Shatara, has came up into the function, baby. And as you know, the girls are already in their section and they see Miss Shatara over at the bar. And baby, let me tell you something. Miss Shatara says she came with her own friends. She don't want to be in no section with the girls because guess what? She don't know how people is and ain't nobody finna like little girl her boss her down. She came with her own people. She do what she wanna do. And if you know anything about our girl, Miss Pretty Hair Balls, she's very much so a very strong-minded individual, and she gonna stand on what she say. And baby, our girl Day Jones seen. She saw her in the club. She went over there and hugged her, gave her hugs, and she was excited and she was asking me. She saw her to come over to that section, and Michelle Tara was like, "Girl, I don't do that. I don't like nobody." I was like, "Girl, what's the tea? What did happen?" But the girls is having a good time. They mingling, they dancing. And we even see Miss Mona say, she doesn't think Miss Shatara really wants to be inside the inner circle and she does not know why or understand why. But hey, it's cool. It's her. Per. And then, we see our girl Glizzy is in the club. And baby, our girl Day Jones said, this our girl Glizzy song. Like she talked to other girls in the section. She said, I went to the DJ, I hit up her manager, and I told her dang manager, hit up DJ, let the DJ know, play some of Glizzy music. She's like, because when I'm part of the team or you one of mine, so baby, I'm always promote you. I'm gonna hit up the DJ, whoever, to get them to play the music. And I was like, okay, Miss Day Jones, this my kind of girl. We gonna get it by any means. And like I said, the ladies are having a good time. They vibing out in their section. They rocking, they going bye. The vibe is giving. Welcome to the club. You know just what it means. So shout out full of dubs. 'Cause this is what it be. But I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the vibes. The ladies are having a good time. They're looking good. Come on, She Hustle Chicago. Come on, Glizzy. They not cute and they not classy or demure. Okay, Glenn. So Y'all, while we were at the club, our girl, Miss Ranisha, said she was invited out to Viewpoint, and, she said she knew they had bought a section and got a section, but she said then it seems like everybody was like inviting somebody, bringing somebody to the section. So Miss Ranisha said she just went by her own section, and she was like, she got her little channel, little whisper, little mumbling, but she wasn't really paying no mind because she was like, I'm a boss. That's what bosses do. Big N and her, and we see our girl Monet. Monet comes over and parties with her in her section. And Dave says she don't really feel no type of way about it because she completely understands. Look, if you don't want to be in the section no more, you want to have your own section, you want to be with your own people. Cool, I get it. That's what you do when you're a boss. I love to see that. But guys, we leave that scene and go to our next scene. So yes, y'all. As we get into our next scene, baby, come to find out, our girl Miss Rainisha shop was broken into pretty hair weave, and we get to see a little evidence footage of them breaking into the shop. And when I say evidence footage, I mean like we get to see actual camera footage from the gentleman breaking into the shop. It was like three of them. They basically stole her inventory, busted out the front glass of her store. But Miss Ranisha said, ain't nothing finna stop her. Ain't nothing finna run from where she is, because baby, she's a boss. And that's what I love to hear. The energy, the vibe, her. Like, ain't nothing gonna stop me from doing my hustle, no matter who or what they think they gonna do. So yes. After we find out about our Miss Renisha's hair shop getting salon getting broke into, our girl Day Jones comes in the next day and checks in on her, see how she's doing, and see what all went down and what happened. And our girl Miss Renisha shares with Miss Day Jones that it's just very sad that people don't want to get out and go to work. They want to break into like what people have already built and have established, and it just really was ticking her nerve. But things gonna work out. She got her glass replaced. She got her girl, Dr. Princess, with her. So everything's going real good. They keeping her up in high spirits, and they does ask Miss Ronisha if she wants to like file a small claims because of her merchandise and her property and just all the paperwork she'll have to go through. And Miss Renisha was like, no, she ain't gonna worry about it. It's gonna take care of itself and things are gonna be handled. And I'm like, yes, Miss Renisha, yes. And then, baby, we find out our girl Day Jones is actually there to get her lips did and to get them a little plumped. Okay, Miss Day Jones, I see you, girl. We getting the lips did, we getting the lips plump. And she said, of course, she got to support her girl, Dr. Princess, because, she live in the shy, she love being in the city. And why not show love to her people? And we do get to see the procedure of her getting her lips pumped, which actually kind of makes me want to go get my lips plumped. No lie, because they look good. Dr. Princess, you had did that. And Dr. Princess, have you been on another reality TV show? Because I think I've seen you before, girl. But y'all, as we go from that scene to our next scene. But yes, y'all. As we get into our next scene, baby, it is our girl, Miss Glizzy Glow. And Miss Glizzy did not attend the movies. She's at home with her friend who started her own cooking and catering business. And, she's just catching up with her, chitting and chatting, letting her know, about um why she's back in the city, why she moved from Atlanta. She said, Atlanta definitely was the place for her, especially like in the creative zone and just making moves. But she said she gotta come back home because this is where her team is. This is where like her producers are, the people like she really works with. They're all back home in Chicago. And then, her friend girl asked her about like the other night and her night out and what's been going on. And so Miss Glizzy shares that, they went out, her and all the ladies, and she was just giving a vibe and a feel, trying to see about everyone and everything. And, come to find out, her and Miss Shatar, aka Pretty Hair Boss, um, had a little incident back in the day on the internet about somebody, but Glizzy said, it's old and she's over it. She's not really big on it or worried about it. And come to find out, one of her friends was with her also knows, Miss Shatara, and, you know, kind of tried to do like some mediation between the ladies, but I don't think it really worked out. And so, come to find out, while Glizzy was sitting over there, Miss Ronisha shares with Glizzy that, girl, she may not be in the section because she don't like me. So come to find out, Miss Shatara has a issue with Glizzy and Miss Ronisha, which is kind of interesting because I did not know that. Just saying from how the ladies interacted with each other when they first met, so it's very, very interesting to see and find out. And after we move past that, we get back into more about Glizzy's career, what's her next steps, what's her next move, and then maybe we end that conversation and go to our next scene. So yes, y'all. As we get into our next scene, baby, it is our girl, Miss Mona, and baby, she is out and she is stopping by It's a Vibe, baby, shop and boutique. And baby, let's just say the pieces in there are definitely giving. I definitely want to come to Chicago and shop there. It definitely gives giving a cold, showing a cold day. Okay, it's definitely giving. I'm gonna show up, show out. But we see our girl, doing a little bit of shopping, and come to find out, our girl Miss Mona actually knows the store manager, and they are really good friends. So they sit down and they do a little chitting and chatting and catching up. And our girl Miss Mona tells her about her night at the club, the vibe it was giving. It was a bunch of men in there with the money on. Okay. She said, but it just wasn't, it was like when nobody really just giving her what she wanted, but she said she ended up twerking and having a good time. And so her friend was like, girl, what is it with you and these men? Because every man you get with be crazy. The last one burned down, tried to burn down your house. And so we get an insert of Miss Monet when she was on the news, actually about when this event occurred and happened. I actually like her brown hair. Just about Miss Monet. I like you. Brown hair fits. It gives very soft, very elegant, very demure. But she said, well, I ain't worried about that. I got to focus on worry about getting to this money, baby, and my next business and adventures. And y'all, that is how we close out She Hustles Chicago episode 4, Girl Power. Baby, when I say the girls in Chicago is doing it, they is doing it. Now, baby, our next review will be coming soon, which will be episode 5, which is titled Tighten Up. I can't see, I can't wait to see what the girls are gonna do in the Windy City. Until next time, you guys, it's me, your girl, Pretty Sexy Charlotte Brand, aka Stoner Assassin. Mm, mm. Bye, y'all.